The federal government's investigation into Jeffrey Epstein is officially over, yet somehow we're left with more questions than answers. In fact, the DOJ released nearly 11 hours of security footage from the prison to debunk these conspiracy theories and to prove that the official narrative is right. But the security footage doesn't actually prove anything. Now, before I continue making my point, I want you to take note of the physicality. This is a part of that 11 hours of security footage. Really take note of the doors. What do they look like? What do the walls look like? What's the spacing here? Because it's going to be really important later on. I want to be clear also, by the way, that I'm not promoting a conspiracy theory or any alternative explanations. I'm just simply asking questions and pointing out the plot holes, the contradictions that still exist to this day. And quite frankly, even though I voted for President Trump, even though I still support President Trump, I believe we deserve more transparency from the government, especially in a case that's as high profile as this. There's nothing wrong with asking questions. So again, this is the security footage that is supposed to confirm and prove the official narrative. But you'll take a look at the doors, you'll take a look at the walls, and the problem here is that it doesn't actually prove anything, because none of those were the door to Jeffrey Epstein's cell. According to CNN, this is what the door looked like. You'll notice it's a lot smaller, many latches on the outside of the door. On top of that, you see the wall is textured because it's cinder block, white on top, gray on the bottom. It wasn't just CNN, by the way. This was also confirmed by CBS News in 60 Minutes. Every door in the entire wing looked the exact same. Skinny doors, latches on the outside, cinder block walls, two colors. Now, as if the discrepancy in the doors of the what's actually in the jail versus what we see on the security camera footage isn't enough, what makes this crazy is we were told over the last few years that there was no security camera footage, right? The cameras supposedly malfunctioned, and when there was footage, it was corrupted. Yet somehow, all these years later, we get 11 hours of supposedly unedited footage. It just doesn't make sense. According to BBC at the time, 2020, Jeffrey Epstein, jail CCTV erased by technical errors. According to Reuters, FBI studies 2 broken cameras outside cell where Epstein died. According to Washington Post, investigators scrutinizing video outside Epstein's cell find some footage unusable. So again, just a lot of discrepancies here, and the facts, quite frankly, just aren't adding up. Now, there is an explanation as to why the door of Jeffrey Epstein's cell is different from the door that we see in that footage. Now, this is taken from the Department of Justice's official website. This was their report in 2023. And in that document, again, they confirm what Jeffrey Epstein's cell door actually looked like. It's yellow. It's the same one that they showed on CNN. But on the left-hand side of the screen, we can actually see the schematic of the prison. Now, you'll notice Jeffrey Epstein's cell is the cell in red, so it was right at the corner, right by the staircase. In yellow is the door of his cell. You'll see it opens outward, and then I added this green arrow to point out the staircase there, because that's going to be really important. Now, next we want to take a look at the camera angle. Again, you can see Jeffrey Epstein's cell. It is in the corner of that wing, but where this camera footage came from, this 11 hours, the camera wasn't even in that wing. It was all the way on the other side, and I added, now they tilted the camera to show you the angle of the camera, and I added that yellow line so you can see the line of sight for where it was filming, right? And so it really would never have gotten a clear shot in any lifetime, in any world of Jeffrey Epstein's cell. Now, that is not all. You will also notice that in green, in the green box to the left, that is a staircase to another wing. You'll also notice the other green box is the security guard's desk. So, with all of that being said, let's take a look at that security camera footage again. Yes, we can see the stairwell to the wing on the left. We can see the security guard's desk, but in this red oval is supposedly the staircase leading to the wing where Jeffrey Epstein's cell was. I don't know about you, but I can't see a stairwell there. If anything, maybe 2, 3, 4 inches, but I really don't think I see anything. Again, this is supposedly what we're supposed to see. We're supposed to see the stairwell leading up to his wing and no one going to it, proving that there was no foul play, but I personally can't see anything. And given, even if you could see something, something that most of the stairwell is clearly out of frame, I don't think that proves anything. Again, I'm not promoting a conspiracy theory. I'm not promoting that there was foul play. I'm simply saying here that you can't just put out this footage and claim that this is definitive proof that nothing happened, especially when there is so much doubt, when there has been so much resistance to the investigation, right? I mean, given how high profile this case is, you would think that they could have explained it better and handled it with a little more care, right? They could have acknowledged, hey, we know you were told that the cameras malfunctioned, but hey, guess what? We actually had 11 hours worth of footage. They could have gone through a visual diagnostic of what we're seeing on the camera. They could have been openly transparent to the public. I bet most people watching this didn't even know that that wasn't the door to Jeffrey Epstein's cell, right? They just put it out there and allowed you to make that implication, that inference. But that just wasn't the case. They could have explained all of this and explained why they came to the conclusion they did. But instead, all of this information was dropped over the weekend, Sunday night, almost as if they didn't want the media to talk about it, or as if they didn't want it to be part of the main news week. And White Houses, all of them are known to do that, right? Typically, the weekend is when you want to put out a story that you want buried. Number one, because people aren't really paying attention to the news on the weekends. They're catching up on errands, chores, all of that stuff. And even the newsrooms, right? Even though they cover news 24/7, they aren't as heavily staffed on the weekend. So it is the perfect time to put something out there. Now, it's not just the discrepancy of what we're seeing in the camera or not seeing in the camera footage. It's also the discrepancy in the statements of various administration officials. And Fox News' Peter Doocy asked Karoline Leavitt about this during yesterday's press briefing.
Transparency.
Follow up on that,
Sure.
Caroline. Okay, so the FBI looks at the circumstances surrounding the death of Jeffrey Epstein. According to the report, this systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. So what happened to the Epstein client list that the Attorney General said she had on her desk?
Well, I think if you go back and look at what the Attorney General said in that interview, which was on your network on Fox News.
Got the quote.
Go ahead.
John Roberts said, DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Yes, she was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. That's what the Attorney General was referring to, and I'll let her speak for that. But again, when it comes to the FBI and the Department of Justice, they are more than committed to ensuring that bad people are put behind bars. They have an operation going on right now called Summer Heat.
Okay, yeah, look, I like Karoline Leavitt. If you've watched the channel for a while, you know I think she's a great press secretary, and I like her a lot. So please don't take this as, oh, Daniel's turning or anything like that. I just, I am an equal opportunity pointer, outer, criticizer, whatever you want to call it, right? If I will call Democrats out for stuff all the time, but I will also hold Republicans and Republican administrations accountable. And quite frankly, I think we need more transparency on this. And I think Karoline Leavitt was a little disingenuous when she said that Pam Bondi was referring to the entirety of the case on her desk, because if you watch that clip, it's very clear that's not what she was actually talking about. But before I show you the clip, I would like to acknowledge RL1401, Susie Bolka, Lucy Goosey, exploring with Ben and Sam, Mike Filsami, and Lace Hirano as the members of today's Governor's Club. Again, these are people who give tips or super thanks to the channel. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you enjoy the videos. Now, I think if you watch this clip from a few months ago, it'll be very clear that the implication was that the Epstein list was on Pam Bondi's desk.
DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
So John Roberts was asking specifically about the list, and so it makes sense if she's answering, she's not all of a sudden be talking about the files or the case as a whole, right? She was the Attorney General in Florida. She is an attorney, and Supreme Court cases, I mean, things will go to the Supreme Court over specific wording. Some cases are fought even over an apostrophe. What does that apostrophe mean? Does it change? So I guess what I'm trying to say there is that language is very nuanced, and And as an attorney, as a former Attorney General of Florida and the current Attorney General, she is very well aware of how language works. So she knew the implications. She knew what John Roberts was asking. He was very much asking about the list and not the file. So I just don't buy into that. But it wasn't just Pam Bondi. Alina Habba also was talking about names. Now, she didn't specifically use the word list, but it's very clear this is what she's talking about.
But in this case, in Epstein's case, it is incredibly disturbing. We have flight logs, we have information, names that will come out.
Is it going to be shocking?
I don't see how it's not shocking that there were so many individuals that were hidden and kept secret and not been held accountable. Let's talk about the reverse. I believe in accountability. So you have to now go through your process.
I mean, it wasn't just that. You can go example after example after example of statements where they're talking about lists, or in this case, names, but what's a list made of names, right? So that's clearly what they're talking about. It's not just those public statements. It's also the claim. Remember the claim over all of the videos, right? And Kash Patel said, well, if I had videos, then they would be out. And Pam Bondi said there were tens of thousands of videos. And supposedly now they're not being released because it all involves minors. Now, look, I understand that. And I agree that should not be released to the public or made public. But I have a hard time believing that every single one of those 10,000 videos, supposed 10,000 videos, had a minor. You know what I mean? It could be Jeffrey Epstein. It could be Epstein with his, like, it's just funny how we went from 10,000 videos to, what videos?
Again, logical play out. If there was a video of some guy or gal committing felonies on an island and I'm in charge, don't you think you'd see it?
Tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn. And there are hundreds of victims. And no one victim will ever get released. It's just the volume, and that's what they're going through right now. The FBI is diligently going.
At the end of the day, I doubt we're ever going to fully know what happened here, not just in terms of Jeffrey Epstein and everything around him, but as far as the government investigations and the subsequent reporting that has come out from it. I'm not blaming that on the Trump administration. I know that there are a lot of factors at play, many different people and parties pulling strings. It's just disappointing that we went so far to, all of a sudden just be like, that's it, no further explanation. And it seems, and look, they could be telling the truth, right? And if they are, and if this truly is what they believe, and that's what the evidence says, I would have preferred, and I think people would have more easily accepted it had they had a press conference. And like I said, just explained everything. Give us a diagnostic of what we're visually seeing on the screen. Go through a timeline. But to release all of this in the middle of the night, over the weekend, it just smells as if you're trying to sweep something under the rug. But as always, all of that is just my analysis and commentary. That's what's going on in the world of politics from my point of view, and I would love to hear from you. So do you buy the official narrative? Do you believe that, there was no foul play and that security camera is proof? Or do you have more of my take here, where there are apparent contradictions and just plot holes all over the place, and things just don't quite line up? And like I said, maybe the evidence does prove the official narrative, but I think it is a very fine needle to thread. Just saying. If you haven't already, please be sure to leave me a thumbs up. I know it's a simple thing to ask for, but it really does help me reach more viewers like you in the algorithm. Be sure to smash that subscribe button and to check out one of these videos.